It's almost Christmas. It's almost Christmas. It's almost Christmas. Alright, so welcome to the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 buying guide for, of course, Christmas. Now, I'm going to keep this video relatively quick, relatively short, so you can get everything that, is good and things that bad, throw it out the window, so it's going to be pretty great. Alright, keeping it short, let's get into it. Okay. So Nintendo Switch 2 games that you should probably pick up. We gotta start everything off from the start. Mario Kart World. Now, if you bought a Nintendo Switch 2 and didn't buy Mario Kart World, what are you doing? Maybe now is the time to pick up this game. This game is really good. You're able to traverse in the open world. Moving on, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Donkey Kong Bonanza is also an amazing game because if you ever one day you were so mad at something, you felt like punching a hole through the wall. Well, guess what? Donkey Kong Bonanza is the perfect place for you. It was developed by the Mario Odyssey team, which means it's a great game and you can destroy anything you want. Moving on, the next game that you should probably get your hands on is, of course, Metroid Prime 4. Now this game, we've waited so long for another continuation of the game, and Metroid Prime 4 is here, so this is honestly a really cool and amazing game. One other game that you should maybe pick up if you're into it is Kirby Air Riders. Now, it's not really a kart racing game, more a Mario Party-like kart racing game, so if you're expecting this game to be exactly like a kart racing game, I'm sorry, that is not what it is, but it still is a really good pickup for this holiday season. Now, one game that you might want to also consider picking up is Pokémon Legend ZA. Now, this game is honestly a really fun and fantastic game because it takes everything that Pokemon is and spins it, mixes it up, mashes it together, and makes a pretty solid game, I would say. Instead of a turn-based battle, it's live action, so you can move around, attack, battle Pokemon, catch them, whatever the case may be. It's really awesome. And if you're getting eShop gift cards or whatever the case may be, Pokemon Legend ZA DLC is also an option. I forgot to mention the Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC, but pretty much any DLC you can pick up from the eShop, which is pretty cool. eShop gift card would be pretty great. We can't forget about Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Now this game is different to the standard Legend of Zelda games. If you don't really like hack and slash games, well, this isn't really for you. Hack and slash, wave full of enemies and you gotta go straight through them. Now you will finally actually be able to use characters that you weren't previously able to use. Like, this is pretty cool. So if you like hack and slash or you just want to know the continuation of the Legend of Zelda series, I would say pick this one up. Now, moving more in towards the Nintendo Switch 2 editions. Now, if you don't have the games, the original games for this, you might want to pick them up, like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Those look really great, really amazing in 4K 60 FPS on the Nintendo Switch 2. Kirby and the Forgotten Land Star-Crossed World is another edition. This game really looks amazing. The colors pop, the colors blend, the textures look awesome. They look amazing on there. And honestly, any Nintendo Switch 2 edition, you couldn't go wrong, but make sure you don't have the Switch 1 version because you can get it much cheaper by just going into the store and buying the upgrade. So now, third-party games. Now, third-party games are definitely a different story. If you're looking for the full physical experience, well then, a lot of them are on game keycards, unfortunately. If you don't want to get someone or you don't want to get yourself a game keycard, make sure that you look at the bottom or the top that says game keycard. The game is not fully downloaded. But one game that is fully downloaded on the cartridge is Cyberpunk 2077. Now this game, honestly, is a really fun and fantastic game. It plays really beautiful on the Nintendo Switch 2. It's only at 30 FPS, sadly, but you can barely notice it. There's no frame drops, there's no nothing. It looks and plays beautiful on the system. One game that you might want to pick up is Sonic Cross World Racing. Now, this is honestly a great and fun game. It's a different experience than you would from Kirby Air Rider, but similar to Mario Kart World, but more like you're able to traverse between realities as playing this kart racing game. Hades 2 is also a really interesting one, but be careful. Do you want the physical game or do you want the digital game? Because you can actually get the digital game for 50% off because the physical cartridge is worth more. It's about $16 to get one of those little physical cartridges than it is to get it digitally. So if you want the physical cartridge, it's going to be twice as expensive, but if you don't care, eShop gift card is the way to go. Hollow Knight Silksong, that's an eShop gift card only. You will not be able to get it on Nintendo Switch 2. 2026 is supposed to be the year that you are able to get this game as a physical release, so maybe you want to wait for that. Now, of course, it's not confirmed, but it seems more in the direction that we will be seeing that game in 2026. Now, there's also a couple other games like No Man's Sky. This game looks beautiful on Switch 2. There is not a Switch 2 physical box, but there is, however, a Nintendo Switch 1 version of the game that you can upgrade for completely free, which is going to make it a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game, which runs, plays, looks really, really great. Also, if you don't have Nintendo Switch Online, maybe a good pickup is Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack, because then you can play all the GameCube games, all the Game Boy Advance games, all the Game Boy games, NES, SNES, pretty much everything towards the 7th generation of consoles, which is really, really amazing. Now, moving everything towards the Nintendo Switch 1 version of everything. Now, of course, we miss quite a few Nintendo Switch 2 games, but these aren't games that I'm very familiar with. I think there still definitely is a lot of games like this, like Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour. You probably don't want that, but hey, maybe it's a cool option for you. You play a bunch of different games on Switch 2, so make sure that you just check it out, look at the trailer. That's usually what I would do, but these would personally be the ones that I would pick for Nintendo Switch 2. Alright, so Nintendo Switch 1. Now, the Switch 1 definitely has a lot of games throughout the years, but this year we did get quite a few games. So let's start off with Super Mario Galaxy 1+2. Now, this is a port of the original game, so you're able to play arguably the greatest 3D Mario games of all time on the Switch 2 or the Switch 1. So honestly, in my opinion, it is worth it because you can play both those games anywhere you want, and it's just easy and compact and whatever the case may be. Okay, Metroid Prime 4 you're able to play on Nintendo Switch 1. So like I said, Switch 2, get it. Switch 1, get it as well. If you wanted to get a Nintendo Switch 2 later, you can always upgrade that via an upgrade pack, like a lot of games will tend to have. Also, another game, Pokémon Legend ZA. This also has a Switch 2 edition, but you play it on Nintendo Switch 1. This game, even if you do get the Switch 2 version, you're planning on getting a Switch 2, you can actually play Pokémon Legend ZA Switch 2 version on the Nintendo Switch 1. Same thing goes with Hades. You are able to just take the Hades 2 cartridge and put it in your Nintendo Switch 1. So don't be scared of any of those. Usually the games with the sort of cartridge that has Nintendo Switch 1 ID, or the game that's meant for Switch 1 but Switch 2, will have something that's backwards compatible, but the ones that are dedicated to Nintendo Switch 2 are not going to have that. Kirby Air Riders, Mario Kart World, not going to have that. So make sure that you're checking out. Just keep that in mind, that you can actually go backwards with Switch 2 cartridges. Pokemon Legends ZA Switch 2 cartridge works on Switch 1. So does all the games. Just wanted to clear that up. It makes a lot of sense, because then if you want to Switch 2 later in the future and you still wanted the Switch 2 edition on the cartridge, well then that's one way that you can take a look at it. Okay, now moving on to older games. Any Legend of Zelda game, honestly, is a good bet. If you haven't played any of the Legend of Zelda game, I would highly recommend The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Still look beautiful on Nintendo Switch 1. Then you could also play The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which is a different Legend of Zelda game that you're able to capture creatures and use them to harvest or do anything. It honestly is a really, really cool feature. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD is literally the greatest version to play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, because on the Wii, it's not very intuitive. The Wii remotes start to slide, and it's overall just a weird situation to be in. Now, one game all the way back in 2017, Super Mario Odyssey. We did talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza, but if you just getting into the world of Nintendo Switches, a lot of these games would probably appeal to you. So Super Mario Odyssey, give that a try. Of course, we're going to talk about pretty much the biggest Nintendo Switch games. Hey, Xenoblade Chronicles. This is a very nice open world. It's from the original Xenoblade X or Xenoblade Chronicles X from the Wii U. It ran pretty good, but you start to saw a little bit of frame drops and things. This game really looks nice. It looks beautiful on Nintendo Switch 2. So if you haven't yet, maybe consider to pick that one up as well. It really is a fun game. Now, one game that you might want to consider picking up for Nintendo Switch 2 is maybe Super Mario Bros. Wonder. There is going to be a Switch 2 edition of this game that is going to enhance a bunch of different things, but on Nintendo Switch 1, if you haven't played this game, it's going to be really cool. Sonic Racing Cross World is also on the Nintendo Switch 1, so if you don't have a Switch 2, you can play this game on Switch 1, which is really awesome as well. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the earlier versions are still technically the mainline Pokemon games right now, so maybe the current generation you want to pick those up if you haven't yet, but there is a lot of problems with those games. They tried to address some of them, but you will see a lot of frame droppings, you will see a lot of tear in pretty much the visuals as a whole, so make sure you're keeping a mind out on that. Now, one game that I want to quickly mention, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity and Hyrule Warriors the Definitive Edition. Consider to check those games out as well. Sadly, you will not be able to finish off the story or the trilogy with Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment because that is a Nintendo Switch 2 edition only game. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at Hyrule Warriors as a whole. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door would probably be a good pickup because this is honestly one of the greatest Mario RPGs of all time. It really is great. If you've never played any Mario RPG, maybe Super Mario and Luigi Brothership is a good one. Maybe that's something that you would be interested. Now, this doesn't have the greatest story in the world, but it still is pretty good. Paper Mario The Origami King, another RPG that is really good. Mario RPG is another game that's also really good. There's a lot of RPGs that are pretty good. If I were going to say which one you should get, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door definitely is a really good one. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is another game that you probably would want to pick up. Maybe Red Dead Redemption. There is going to be a remaster of that game on Switch 2, but if you haven't played the original, game looks beautiful on Switch 1. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and also Kirby Star Allies. Those are all great Kirby games, so hey, maybe you're going to like every single one of those because they're all different in some way. Kirby Return to Dreamland has the Merry-Go-Land, which has a lot of different game modes, and is honestly one of the greatest 2D Kirby games. We also have Kirby Star Allies, which pretty much you're able to capture your opponent and make the game a little bit easier. You can play with up to 4 players with all these Kirby games besides Forgotten Land. And Forgotten Land is arguably maybe the best Kirby game because of the fact that it's sort of open world, a 3D Kirby game, which is really cool. Pokemon Sword and Shield, maybe still a really good game. Personally, I think that these games are really amazing still in 2025. If you haven't played a Pokemon game on Nintendo Switch, maybe now's the time to pick up one of these games because Sword and Shield I would highly recommend. It's just a good game. I really found so much amusement to playing Pokemon Sword and Shield. It was just so good. Now, if you're part of Nintendo for the family fun, well, Super Mario Party Jamboree is a really good game. It really is an amazing game. You have the first one, which is Super Mario Party, which also is a really good game. And then we had Mario Party Superstars, which is another Mario Party. Doesn't have the motion controls. So if you want motion controls, I would highly recommend Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is such a good game. It's just such a good game. The motion control game modes are super good. And then Mario Party or Super Mario Party, that's also another one. Both of those games you can't go wrong with, but if you want a more traditional Mario Party game, I would say Super Mario Party Jamboree is the way to go. But if you want the most traditional Mario Party game, it would be to go with Mario Party Superstars. These are all confusing things. So overall, really awesome. If you're looking for a Mario Kart game, you probably have this one by now, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe plus the DLC, which would give you such an amazing time because this has 96 tracks to choose from. Bigger than any Mario Party or Mario Kart game as a whole. Hades 2 would also be another great game. Remember, you can use the Switch 2 edition, so pick up the Switch 2 edition if you want to. We also have Donkey Kong Country returns. This will be on sale for Black Friday, which honestly is a really cool thing. Metroid Dread is the 2D Samus game. If you didn't want to get Metroid Prime 4, try out this one. Metroid Dread is really cool. One game that you might also like is Pikmin 4, Splatoon 3, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Now, these games, I feel like there's definitely better options for Mario U Deluxe. You should probably just skip out on this one, get Wonders, but hey, if you want more like the new Super Mario Bros., hey, this is the way to go, I guess. Overall, there's so many amazing games. Like more Pokemon games that you might want to pick up, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl. These are all very great games. If you wanted to get something for maybe a kid or a girl or whoever, Princess Peach Showtime, a really interesting game. You literally play as Princess Peach, which is a cool game. We have also here The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Can't forget about that one. That's a good game. It's super awesome. Donkey Kong Country Freeze, also another good one. We have the GTA Trilogy, which is also a pretty good one. I would say it's going to be on sale for $20 or so, which is honestly a great deal for those games. There's a lot of other games here that are pretty interesting, like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battles and Mario plus Rabbids Rift Apart. Forget what the name, but it's there. We also have new Pokemon Snap, which is a Pokemon game that looks really good. Dark Souls is another one that looks amazing. Luigi's Mansion 1, 2, and 3. Now you play 1 on the Nintendo GameCube application on the Switch 2 exclusively, but you will be able to play Luigi's Mansion 2 HD and Luigi's Mansion 3 if you like Luigi's Mansion, solving puzzles and all of that stuff. Those games are great. Luigi's Mansion 2 is more like a level-based system. Luigi's Mansion 3 is more like an open adventuring game, which honestly is really cool. Minecraft, maybe if you want to just take that anywhere you want, makes a lot of sense to me to be getting that game as well. It's really cool. If you're going for Splatoon, do not get Splatoon 2 because the servers are pretty much dead, so get Splatoon 3. Splatoon 3 makes a lot of sense in my books, so overall, it's really cool. If you want to get really fit while playing some Nintendo Switch games, oh boy, howdy do I have the great thing for you. Ring Fit Adventure, an amazing story, amazing pretty much everything. Lego games, you can't really go wrong with Lego games. Fun adventure, easy to play, and overall just great. Just overall great, a great cheap present. We got Super Mario Maker 2. You can fully customize your Mario levels as a whole, which is really cool. Mario Tennis Aces. However, there is going to be a brand new tennis game in 2026. Maybe you want to wait for that and say, hey, your gift is delayed. It's coming in the mail or something like that. I don't know how you want to make it, but there's going to be a brand new tennis game in January, which is pretty cool. Also, we got a bunch of different games. Maybe Pikmin 3. You can get Pikmin 1+2, Pikmin 3, and Pikmin 4. So you can have the entire trilogy of Pikmin. We can call it Pikmin Day or Pikmin New Year. Then we have a Pac-Man World 2 Repack. That is honestly a great game. It takes the original Pac-Man game, throws it in the Switch, and say, hey, here you go. Have a fun time with that. Now, remember, games that I'm not really mentioning is maybe games you go away from, or if you're looking directly at a game, consider picking it up. Stardew Valley is a one good game that you really should pick it up because, hey, it's Stardew Valley. You can make your own farm. You can make your own life. You can pretty much do anything in that game. It's a really great indie game, and honestly, it's awesome. Hollow Knight 1 and Hollow Knight Silksong, amazing games. Really difficult, however, so be careful about that. Also, we can't forget about Terraria. This is one game that I would say, hey, this is such a good game on Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2. It makes a lot of sense to be getting that game as well. Now, we can't forget about the greatest thing of all time, Big Brain Academy. If you want to get smart while playing video games, well, guess what? This is the perfect game for you. It makes a lot of sense because there you go. You got some great thing. Game Builder Garage, you can essentially make your own little tiny game, which is a pretty cool idea as a fact. Mario and Sonic in the Olympic Games. If you want to play a Mario and Sonic game, that game, it might be right for you. I'm just saying, you could probably get a lot of these games cheaper during the holiday. Maybe you could get them used, or maybe you want to just get them newer. Well, then Amazon, Best Buy, Target, wherever you are, look for these games. A lot of older games would go on sale, but that's not true for really the first party main Nintendo games, so keep an eye out on that. Overall, a bunch of these games still are fantastic Christmas gifts. I wanted to keep this video relatively short, and we're already at roughly 20 minutes. So yeah, there still is definitely quite a few other games, but hey, I tried to cover the more main sort of games that you might want to pick up. So there you go. Maybe you want to get Miitopia as well, because then you have different ways to play. You can essentially make your own story in a turn-based combat, which makes a lot of sense. SpongeBob SquarePants is another one, another really great, fun way to play. And hey, maybe Spyro, the reimagined trilogy. These are all amazing Spyro games. Like, the list can go on and on with your Nintendo Switch games, but I would just say, hey, Lego games, whatever the case may be, they're all going to be great options, but more towards the first part of the list, I would say go for it. It's an amazing option. So anyways, Merry Christmas to you. I hope that you have a fun time hunting for whatever the game might be. And anyways, I hope that, you know, you have a great day and a great Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. With that being said, see you in the next one. I hope that this helped a lot or helped in any way, shape, or form. Anyways, see you in the next one.